Happy October, everybody. We have finally made it to one of the best months of the year. We can freely sip those PSLs without any shame. I mean, I'm never going to shame you. I will drink that in July, but that's not the point. The point of this video is I'm going to help you prepare for this exciting month ahead. As I film this video, it is the full moon in Aries. We are working with transformational creative energy that's going to help us align with conscious action and help us make choices and walk through very important doorways this month. And I'm also going to show you what to do when faced with any unconscious energy in the collective and how to continue your inward and letting go process as we move into these first few weeks of October, and also deeper into the fall season. A major theme in October is the concept of doorways. So what's going to be happening this month is, let's take a step back for a moment. In September, we were creating the foundation for what we are going to be releasing exactly this month. We've gone inward, we've met those needs, and then we have a sense of what moved for us. And let's just say the majority of humanity had a pretty rough September. We were all being affected by different retrogrades and planetary shifts. And when this happens, all of our stuff gets shaken up and we're all processing a lot of things. You may have had people come in and out of your life. You may have switched jobs. You may have had just different opportunities present themselves after letting go of something really intense. So now that we've shaken a lot of this debris out of the field, we are now in the next layer where we are fully letting go of what we need to. What are the big things we've been working on? What are the things we've been chipping at that we're ready to release? And the reason we're looking at this is because during the fall, we innately let go of things. First of all, we innately move inward into ourselves. That's what we do just as the seasons change. And then we start to just really copy nature. So when those dead leaves are ready to fall and hit the ground, the things that no longer resonate with us are now ready to release and fall to the ground so that something new can bloom in this springtime. It's always important to look to nature for those metaphors because they are real reflections of what we are also experiencing as humans who are intertwined beautifully and connected with nature. Now, this concept of doorways comes into play because as we have released those old patterns and old energetic debris has left the field and we're now looking to create something new, we are presented with different choice points, or think of it as different doorways that we can walk through. We can also think of these as different timelines that we are aligning with. So the question becomes, which doorway are we going to walk through? Are we going to go fully through this doorway with confidence? Are we going to trust the unknown? But the next level is, what are we bringing with us through that doorway? What do we want to leave behind? And those are the things that we will be letting go of. And most importantly, we want to walk through these doorways without any fear. We really want to be brave and embody all of that power that's within us when we walk through this new doorway, because what we're actually looking at is a new opportunity. We're constantly given these big, second chances to change something about our lives. So what we want to look for this month is, okay, what doorways are presenting themselves to me? Can I see it? Can I see it through different opportunities that come my way? Can I create my own doorway through the things that I let go of? And now I'm ready to walk into a new experience. Thinking of it as a doorway brings this almost like shamanic energy of a ceremony. We walk through this door, we walk through it renewed, we walk through it brave and with all of our parts with us. And that's what's so important. It's like you're creating this ceremony where you get to walk through something and then literally visualize this new version of yourself emerge through that other side of the doorway. The other questions that may emerge as you walk through this doorway can be, do I even walk through? Am I ready to walk through? Do I follow my heart? What am I taking with me? Who am I taking with me? And can I practice trust, flow, and patience as I walk through this new doorway into the unknown? Because a big level of this will be trusting the unknown and also, trusting that when a dog barks, you keep your cool and you keep recording your energy update. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Now, a key to this practice of walking through these doorways into the unknown is that can we be okay with not knowing? Think of this concept and reflect on it in any way it means to you. So in one aspect, it can be, are we okay with not knowing what's going to happen next? Are we okay with just being in the unknown? Are we okay with not knowing what we want? Maybe that's what we need to discover. And it doesn't matter where you're from, how old you are. What I'm getting at with this point is that we're all on this wild human spiritual journey where it doesn't matter at what point in your life you begin, it doesn't matter what age you are. What we need to really embrace is that no matter how different we are, we're all just trying to figure things out. We all are facing the unknown in so many areas of our lives. And so, can we have this strength and can we have the perseverance to walk through those doorways and trust that we are creating something amazing for ourselves? And if you do know what you want and exactly where you're going, great. Use your intention and start manifesting. As we move into the end of October and of course November, my November update will really touch on manifesting. I already know this because November is an extremely magical month. We've got 11/11 and a lot more gateways we'll be passing through and doorways. So the point of this is maybe in October we start to let go a little bit. We kind of just trust that process so then we can begin and move into more of that magic that we will be creating for ourselves in November. Because we naturally go inward in the fall, you want to embrace this process. This is the time where we go more deeply within ourselves and create a sense of warmth so that we've got a nice, safe environment for us to do all of our processing. So you want to create that environment within yourself that's safe for you to meet with your inner child. Pretty much every update, I give a shout out to my inner child video because I think inner child work is the most powerful and transformative work we can do. This is the month that's really going to support this work because your inner child wants you to let go of what's not serving either of you. It wants you to let go of maybe those people who don't feel safe to you. Maybe it wants you to let go of some habits that also aren't serving you. The point being is, if you need guidance on inner child work, I highly recommend my video on how to meet with your inner child and how to start working with the integration process. Now, because you're going to be looking more inward, you don't want to give a bunch of your energy away out into the world. You really need this for yourself to create that safe environment that we just talked about. But also, don't be afraid, to share your heart with people and give energy that way. The point is, you're not trying to deplete yourself. And I'm not saying that you are going to be completely reclusive in the month of October. No, still have those connections, still enjoy spooky season. You better be going out on Halloween. The point being, of course, with this update is, what do we need to look at? How can we be extra warm and loving towards ourselves? How can we put back that energy that we've given out, that we've just sent all around the place throughout the months prior to this month? And how can we make sure that we don't freeze up in self-preservation? How can we still accumulate that sense of warmth and build up our energy reserves for the coming months? But also, let's make sure we're not letting people come into our space and deplete us. In addition to inner child work, the invitation this month is to continue your shadow work process. This is supported by big Scorpio energy that we're going to be seeing in a few weeks. And with this energy, we naturally will look at what we've hidden, what we've concealed. Now, as I said earlier, I am filming this video the night of the full moon. What full moons do is bring revelation. So a lot's going to be revealed throughout the month of October, but also as you're watching this video, you might have certain revelations come to you and realizations, and you really want to embrace that. And if you need support with shadow work, you can watch my video called How to Navigate a Spiritual Awakening. I have a whole section on shadow work and just different tips and tools to help you process your journey. I am also wearing a very cool shirt in that video, so I highly recommend it. Now, one of the spookiest things we can actually come across during spooky season is unconscious energy. We want to be aware of all that unconscious energy that people throw around. It can show up in a lot of different ways. Someone just being really irresponsible with their energy and dumping on you. People just being disrespectful and crossing your boundaries. But most importantly, energy siphoning. So let's talk about energy vampires because, tis the damn season. And the way we can really conceptualize this is we can be drained by people in our lives who either throw or dump unconscious energy at us. Some people will just drain us because that is their food source. That's what they do. That's how they feel more powerful. And sometimes it's even done on the unconscious level. So we really want to look for that. We want to look for, where do I feel someone is even subconsciously draining from me by certain actions and word choices. We can see this in family members, friends, partners. We want to really be aware of this because this is one of the things that we can let go of in October. So how do we let go of the energy vampires? Really depends on what situation you're in. If we go back to the doorway, we can decide who's going to be walking through that doorway with us or who needs to stay behind. Sometimes all we need to do is set some boundaries, and that will cut off the energy vampire from siphoning energy. Sometimes people aren't used to you being assertive, and when you actually activate that throat chakra and you set those boundaries, that will shift the relationship dynamic. I do understand it's not always that easy leaving a dangerous situation, so this is going to be very personal, person to person. You always want to do what's obviously going to keep you safe. But with that said, with energy vampires, the best thing to do is to not feed the vampire, to pull that energy back. So whether you're in a situation where you need to leave, get yourself in a situation that makes you feel safer, that's what you can do this month. You will be supported by your higher self in any action that's going to be for your highest growth and well-being. The few other things you can do is decide not to engage. If you need any tips on the types of boundaries you need to set with people, you can watch my video all about how to set boundaries and the different types that are appropriate from situation to situation. So if your preference is to not be somebody's food source, pull that energy back, cut off that interaction, cut off any source of feeding from people, any source of them hooking into you. I know it's difficult. Sometimes this is a lifelong process, but the whole point is we are talking about vampiric energies draining us. So anything we do, anything we leave behind that's not going through the doorway is going to attract that community, the family, the love, and the support. In any form that the universe might bring that to you, it's going to attract those things in a positive form that's going to take the place of what was left behind. So you will attract those conscious examples of community that you deserve. Now, by that same nature, if you're just feeling the unconscious energy of the collective, so what this can look like is interacting with news sources or people who are just saying extremely unconscious things or who are bringing in their programming into your life. Anything that's not alignment with your highest truth, you don't need to engage and interact with. You can be aware of what's going on, but the whole point of this is to not absorb and bring it in and make it your reality. We always encourage, whether it's in a healing session with me or through these energy updates with connection to our higher guidance and with guidance from our higher self, that we stand in our truth, in our sovereignty, in our power, and we exercise our freedom in what we get to consume, who's around us, who's allowed to come into our field, and who we want to share our lives with. So as we allow those dead leaves to fall and follow those cycles of nature, allow those dead connections, those things that are only one way, that don't serve you, that siphon energy, the things that only take from you and not give, allow those to fall just as gracefully as they need to, just like a leaf that's falling from a tree. Now, what takes the place of those dead leaves falling and the old debris? What takes the place of all that stuff you're leaving behind and not taking through that doorway is creative freedom. This can show up in the form of actually having more life force return to your field and having the freedom to put that into creative pursuits, projects, healing energy. Healing energy is creative energy in itself. It's got that same amount of chi and fire that we can run through our energy centers. And it's what's really going to help us create what we want to see moving forward in the next few months. But the point of this is also to have that freedom to just engage in what you want to engage with, but also that freedom to say, these are the choices I'm making. These are the people I'm connecting with. This is the sacred doorway I am creating for myself, and I have the freedom to decide what goes through that doorway with me. At the end of the day, everything is about love. So whatever you choose to bring through this doorway with you is only going to lead to more love. Love in every sense of the form. There's the self-love that we give. There's the love that we emanate throughout our energy field into the world. There's divine love. There's higher love. There's source. So everything we are letting go of, all the massive changes we are going through, all this difficult growth and evolution, it's all leading to higher love and higher truth. And this is who we are. And this is ultimately what we're going to be returning to. So really think about what you are letting go of, what needs to get transmuted, either from fear to love. What's going to be happening during this sacred passage through this doorway? What are you taking with you? What are you leaving behind? But also, we don't even have to overthink it, because we know at the end of the day, everything is just going to merge and evolve into this higher love that we are all on some level working towards. So let's recap those key points for the month of October. We are taking conscious action when we reflect on what we are releasing, and then we let go through those choices that we'll be making for ourselves that are going to support us in moving through those doorways where we will emerge, of course, into that highest form of love. We're going to be very aware of the energy vampires. We're going to cut them off. We're not going to let anyone come in and siphon us. We are not going to open ourselves up to anyone who's going to try and dump collective unconscious energy into our field. We're going to be very mindful of ourselves. We are going to continue to cultivate that warmth within ourselves. We're going to do our inner child work. We're going to do the shadow work. And we are always going to hold ourselves and anything that comes to us in the highest form of gratitude and appreciation as we continue this deep, sacred inner world process. Of course, as we let go and we follow the cycles of nature, we let the old things fall away. And we do this with a sense of optimism and just honestly excitement for what we will be creating in those coming months. We've got powerful creative energy that can come in and integrate rather quickly as soon as we let go of those things that actually siphon that creative life force from us. I am wishing you all a warm, fun, and transformational October. May this also be a peaceful time for you as you work through those massive themes and walk through that doorway as the most powerful version of yourself.